engine running so that the AC can keep blowing on Parker. But here's the problem, and it is a very big problem. The SUV Turd has is an Acura MDX, and it has this automatic shut-off feature where if the car is idling for like more than 20 minutes, it'll automatically shut the engine off completely to prevent any type of carbon dioxide poisoning. And Turd knew about this feature because he had experienced it himself before while in the school pickup line. So he was fully aware that in about half an hour, the car was going to shut off and the AC was going to stop. But again, he just figured that in about 30 minutes, he would go back and get her. So he just said, okay, I'll just leave the door closed, leave all the windows up, and go inside. And once he got inside, he unpacks all of his groceries while the older girls talk all happy, yip, yap, yap, about how much fun they had at the trampoline park. And while he's doing all of this, he cracks open another one of those stolen beer cans and he takes a long drink. For what? I don't know. Then he just walks into the living room, he plots himself on the couch, pulls out his phone, and he starts texting Erica like, hey babe, where do you want to go for Christmas shopping? Should we fly somewhere? You know, just casual vacation planning while his daughter is still inside of the car. And at some point, he walks over to his room and he locks himself in there, and he decides to pull up some adult websites and start watching the stuff on his computer. And what he is searching up is honestly straight up disgusting. But while he's playing with his pickle, he doesn't even realize that his already been 40 minutes since he left Parker inside the car. And sure enough, as he's watching that disgusting filth, the engine of the car shuts off and the AC stops blowing any cold air inside. So now what you have is basically a metal box sitting in direct Arizona sunlight where the temperature outside is over 100 degrees. And Parker is strapped into her car seat on the driver's side of the back seat where the sun is beaming right through the window directly next to her. And the temperature inside that car is just climbing higher and higher and higher at a terrifying rate. It's touching 110 degrees, 115 degrees, 120 degrees, and just getting hotter and hotter with every minute that passes. But Turd has absolutely no idea that any of this is happening outside because he has completely and totally forgotten that Parker is even out there in the first place. And after he's done watching those videos, he then decides that it would be the perfect time to play some video games and relax and unwind. So he turns on the PlayStation or Xbox, whatever gaming system he has set up, he grabs his controller and he starts gaming and playing just for fun. Meanwhile, outside in that driveway, the temperature inside of that car just keeps climbing higher and higher without stopping. Now it's touching 125 degrees, 130, 135. At around this point in time, the inside of that car has gotten so unbearably hot that little Parker finally wakes up from her nap. And she's almost certainly starting to cry and scream for help. I mean, as loud as her little lungs can manage. But since all of the windows are rolled up really tight, nobody can hear her screaming or crying for her dad to come help her. And for hours, I'm not even exaggerating, like from 1 p.m. all the way until 4 p.m., little Parker stayed trapped inside of that car that was essentially operating like an oven at that point. And during that entire time, not once did Turd remember to check up on her. Not one single time did he think to himself, oh wait, I should probably go and get Parker from the car now. He just completely forgot that his child existed. And at around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, Erica finally pulls up into the driveway after finishing up her very long shift at work. And she steps inside of the house expecting to see all of her 3 daughters. She sees Turd sitting on the couch playing his video games, but right away something feels very wrong to her. So she looks around and asks, where is Parker? And Turd's got this look on his face like his brain is trying to process what she's asking him. Like he's really trying to search in his memory, and you can see him thinking, Parker? Parker, oh my god, wait a minute, where is Parker? And with this absolute terror and panic in his face, he bolts up off that couch faster than you've ever seen someone move, dropping his game controller on the floor, and he starts sprinting outside of that house like an absolute madman. And Erica's running right after him, screaming at the top of her lungs, What is going on? Where is she, Chris? Where is she? Erica turns and follows him outside, and she's watching as Turd runs as fast as he possibly can towards the Acura sitting in the driveway. And he reaches the door handle, rips it back open with so much force, and there is Parker sitting in her seat, still strapped in the exact place where he left her hours ago, not moving. And Erica sees Parker's body hanging limp like that, and her entire world just stops, completely freezes, because she's a doctor, so she knows immediately just by looking at this is really, really bad. So she runs over and grabs Parker, and she rushes her inside of the house, and she immediately starts doing CPR on her baby girl. She's putting her hands on her chest and pumping as hard as she can, desperately trying to get her to breathe again. And as she's doing these compressions, she looks at Turd and she screams at him, what are you doing? Call 911. And so Turd immediately grabs his phone. His hands are shaking. He's crying and hyperventilating, but he still manages to get 911 on the line. And he says,
no, 911, please. My baby was in the car. She was in the car sleeping. She's on the spot. Oh my god. How long has it been? Half hour.
And after what feels like forever, paramedics finally come busting through the front door of the house, carrying all of these big equipment bags and medical gear, and they immediately drop down to the ground right next to where Erica is still desperately doing compression. And every one of them gently but firmly